contribute, and when it comes time to retire, we're going to be there for you. We're going to be there for the basic needs. That's been a rock-solid guarantee, an ironclad commitment. Generations of Americans have counted on it, and it works. The number of elderly people living in poverty has plummeted since Social Security was created. It's transformed millions of people's lives. Here in Florida, 21% of the people are over the age of 65. It's the second highest of any state in the country as a percent of their state. Some are people of means, but the vast majority live day to day relying on Social Security and Medicare, and maybe a little help from their families.
Action has been taken by lawmakers. More and more people are now agreeing to provide financial relief to the state residents, and this is from the governors. If you could receive extra stimulus cash, you'll be getting it very soon. During the crisis, the federal government already authorized stimulus checks, which helped millions upon millions of people. The money went to eligible Americans, and new data now suggested it has made an everlasting impact on the financial lives of individuals across the country. Specifically, data from the Federal Reserve has revealed a major increase in the aggregate amount of cash that Americans have on hand. But you'll be able to still claim more money. Living in the state of Virginia will be able to receive a couple hundred extra bucks before the year is out. The state of Virginia is offering rebates to people who owe tax liability from a 2021 rebate of up to $250 for people who file individually and up to $500 for lone filers. Anyone who has not filed income taxes in 2022 just isn't eligible to receive the rebate. The State Department of Taxation said in an official statement, tax liability is the amount of tax you owe throughout the year, minus any credits, deductions, or subtractions. So if a person owes money to a state or local agency, they said in an official statement that such services in the tax department will use the person's rebate to pay off the debt before sending what is left to the filer. In this case, where all the rebate is used to pay off the debt, the department will send a letter to the filer informing them where the money was directed. The one-time rebates funded with surplus revenues in the state were made possible after a plan approved in June as part of the state's budget. The Virginia governor said that it included a plan for the rebates in his final budget proposal just before leaving office at the start of 2022. Now, the new governor of Virginia said the legislation was passed and it will be getting everybody stimulus checks in the next coming months, all the way until the end of September of next year, 2023. So there's also important breaking news on unemployment in the United States. Illinois only added around 3,600 jobs in October, a drastic drop in growth coming from amid persistent inflation and rising recession fears. Unemployment has led the nation. Illinois' unemployment rate has increased again, up 0.1% to 4.6 in October, the highest in the nation for a second month straight, and nearly a percentage point higher than the national rate of 3.7. Now, Illinois already added just 3,600 jobs in October. That's actually fewer than in September. Because everybody, according to a press release, the argument strengthens that the state's trust fund alleviates a burden looming over businesses and ensures that there are no deductions in both the standard number of weeks of unemployment benefits and the amount a person can claim. So, the governor announced an agreement to pay the state of Illinois a $36 billion unemployment insurance loan balance. This bipartisan agreement will save taxpayers an estimated $20 million in interested costs that will be due next September. Economists said Illinois' restrictive crisis policies and the use of federal enhanced unemployment benefits will result in a sluggish recovery. But during the crisis, the federal government did provide funds to states just to increase the amount of unemployment benefits paid out by $300 a week for each recipient. They doubled unemployment benefits and people received a lot of more stimulus cash. So folks, the Federal Reserve just continues to take a measure to fight inflation. It recently raised the interest rates again by 75 points, and they are expected to raise it again by another 75 next month in December and January 2023. So despite months of rate hikes and inflation has remained stubbornly high at 8.2%, fueling further uncertainty about the future of the economy. Warning signs of an impending recession just continue to mount. It shows that President Biden must do more for American people and send out stimulus payments in the next.
Well, thank you. First, let me reiterate the fact that it doesn't get closer than 50-50 in the United States Senate, and yet we have been every single day delivering for people. And I want to also start by giving a shout out to the incredibly effective work of Senator Durbin, and Chair of Judiciary Committee, and of course, Senator Schumer, being laser focused. I'm proud of the fact the 90th judge today to be confirmed will be someone from Michigan, Kay Beam, to the district bench, and we will just keep going and going and going. But the reality is that since day one, Democrats have been delivering for the American people. We delivered with the infrastructure law, and you can see progress everywhere. In Michigan, you can barely go down the street without seeing orange cones. But we have 6,900 projects fixing roads, bridges, airports, and more, 2,800 bridges being repaired and replaced, 5,000 new clean energy buses for our children, getting folks to school and to work. We passed the major manufacturing bill, Chips and Science, which is literally bringing jobs home, which as a manufacturing state I'm very, very excited about. President Biden is in Arizona today speaking about this along with Senator Kelly. We have delivered on the Inflation Reduction Act, investing in clean energy manufacturing, and again, bringing jobs home. And these investments are putting us on track to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 40% in the next 8 years. 40% in the next 8 years is really, really important. And we are lowering costs for Americans. The average American household will save up to $1,000 on their energy bills this year. And the cost of prescription drugs we know is going down. For the first time, Medicare is going to negotiate prescription drug prices, and starting in January, which is not very far away, folks on Medicare who use insulin, who need insulin, are going to be able to cap their costs at $35 a month, and that's going to literally save lives. And just last week, we stood with our LGBTQ plus friends and family by protecting marriage equality. The reality is, over and over again, we are laser focused on getting things done to improve.
Americans need to be aware of the Social Security rules that could potentially catch them off guard. For instance, if your current spouse does not qualify for their own benefits, they can claim benefits based on your earnings. An ex-spouse can also claim benefits based on your earnings. To qualify on your record, your ex-spouse must have been married to you for at least 10 years. And Americans have also been warned by the Social Security Administration.
Myself such time as I may consume.
Gentleman is recognized.
This about Title 42. Number one, no, it shouldn't be used to hold up important things like COVID aid, number one. And number two, we're going to be working through this to see if we can come to a position that our caucus can agree on. There's divisions there now. Yes, next.
Reaction to Elon Musk buying Twitter, and Amy Klobuchar just briefed your caucus on antitrust, big tech antitrust legislation. Are you going to bring that to the floor?
Okay, on the second question, we had a very good discussion. She made very powerful presentation, and I'm working with her to see that we can get 60 votes to get to the floor. On Elon Musk, I would say, look, in many ways, Twitter has been a dark, dark place. I hope it doesn't get any darker. Yes.
The inflation package you talked about, is that going to move through regular order or budget reconciliation? And how does
The inflation, what are you talking about?
There's talk of an inflation package to combat inflation. Does that move through budget reconciliation or regular order?
Look,
how does it fit with the other reconciliation effort?
Look, reconciliation is very, very important. I met, as he came out and told people, I met with Senator Manchin this morning.